Hello, this is Sarah Brash. Welcome back to my channel. So I just want to start off by saying please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like my videos, comment on my videos, share my videos. It means the absolute world to me. I'm hoping so much that I will at some point be able to monetize my YouTube channel so that I can use it to raise legal funds for my legal efforts against Yale. And also please donate to my legal fund. I will have all of my fundraising links below, and my wonderful attorneys at Randazza are going to be back in court next month in September of 2022, fighting to restore due process and equal protection at Yale. So please donate. Alright, so this video, believe it or not, is going to be about Chuck E. Cheese and Sesame Street's Rosita. That's right. This video is going to be about Chuck E. Cheese and Sesame Street's Rosita. So you're thinking to yourself, why on earth am I talking about that? Well, so there's now the fake news press and the Black trauma moral outrage industry. So basically they are on notice that I'm watching them like a hawk and that I'm exposing them as the woke KKK monsters that they are for pushing Karen's Gone Wild viral videos and pushing living while black race and hate crime hoaxes, just like they pushed the napping while black hate crime hoax at Yale, just like they pushed the Central Park living while black race hoax involving Amy Cooper. And so for Black trauma moral outrage industry money and gain, and how they subjected me and they subjected Amy Cooper and they subjected other victims, in particular white women, in particular vulnerable people with mental health disabilities like myself, and in particular people without resources to fight back. And so they did this, they pushed, Karen's Gone Wild after Karen's Gone Wild, viral video, living while black race hoax after living while black race hoax, to make money, to vilify and demonize and target private citizen nobodies, in particular white women. And so they know I am watching them like a hawk right now, and that I'm going to expose them every time they do this for the woke KKK monsters that they are, for the Sean King / the Appeal / ACLU Twitter race hustlers that they are. And so they basically have, I feel like they basically had knocked it off, but I feel like there was a bit of a resurgence lately, and I do think it's because the midterms are coming up, and so, perpetrating the living while black race hoax, perpetrating the great racism scare, particularly by the Democrats, was one of the main ways that they defeated Trump. And so they said that people like me were secret Nazis and secret Trumpers, even though I was a lifelong Democrat who had always voted Democrat and who cried when Trump won in 2016. So they said that my racism, my being a secret Nazi who was trying to lynch black students at Yale, was motivated by Trump's racist rhetoric. That was their whole shtick. That was the living while black race hoax perpetrated by the Democrats. That was the great racism scare of 2018 until now. And then the Democrats also took it even further, and they promulgated grossly unconstitutional Karen acts in state and municipal legislatures across the United States. And so this was an extremely successful strategy for them. This is why they've defeated Trump. And so now, though, they know that I am on, I have an entire project of ending woke KKK cancel culture and trial by Twitter, and I'm just not going to let the fake news press, the black trauma moral outrage industry get away with this anymore. Get away with destroying innocent lives, destroying innocent careers, putting innocent lives in danger. I'm not going to let them get away with it anymore. And I think that they know that. There was a little bit of a resurgence lately, but I think I nipped it in the bud. And so now what the fake news press and black trauma moral outrage industry is doing is they've discovered a whole new genre of viral video. And so now, instead of Karen's Gone Wild viral videos, it's Chuck E. Cheese, it's costumed characters gone wild viral videos. And in particular, it's Chuck E. Cheese and Rosita, Sesame Street's Rosita gone wild viral videos that are being pushed by the fake news press and the black trauma moral outrage industry for black trauma moral outrage industry money. And so the first round was like, I don't even know, I think maybe it was like a month ago, maybe it wasn't that long ago, maybe it was more like 2 to 3 weeks. But the first round was Sesame Place, which is an amusement park, Sesame Street themed amusement park, and it's owned by, I guess it's owned by SeaWorld. SeaWorld, the huge, umbrella organization, the huge umbrella corporation is SeaWorld, I guess. So anyway, so what happened was black parents took video of their black children being ignored by the costumed characters. And the first one was at Sesame Place, a Sesame Street themed amusement park, and it involved Sesame Street's character Rosita. So there was some worker, the amusement park worker, in the Rosita costume that allegedly, according to this video, ignored these two little black girls and during a parade at Sesame Place, the amusement park. And then the more recent one, and Tariq Nasheed was all over that first one. He was incensed. I think he was just trying to sell more of his Ogun juice, because I don't think it's been selling that well. So Tariq Nasheed was huge into the Living or Nothing While Black hate crime hoax at Yale. He was huge into the witch hunt at Yale. He just vilified me left, right, and center. And he was big into the Karen's Gone Wild videos. I don't even know why Tariq Nasheed is famous exactly. He basically, I think, he is just a Twitter personality. I don't think he does anything else. And I think he has like 200,000 followers. And he basically gets outraged about alleged, racial transgressions, usually microaggressions, like two little black girls being ignored by Rosita costumed character at Sesame Place. And he pushes viral videos, and he uses this to sell his Ogun juice. So the Ogun juice is, it's basically pepper spray. And so it's pepper spray for black people to use on white people that perpetrate racial transgressions against them. And in particular, he sold it as pepper spray to be used on white women, on Karen's Gone Wild. So now he's using these Chuck E. Cheese and Sesame Street's Rosita Gone Wild, costume characters gone wild viral videos to sell more of his Ogun juice. So apparently the Ogun juice now is to be used on the costumed characters. But I don't think that this Ogun juice is really going to affect the costumed characters, because I think that they're very well protected inside of those costumes, to be perfectly honest. So I don't think the Ogun juice, the pepper spray, is going to get to the workers inside of the costumes. So basically, and then there was another one recently that the fake news press was all over, and the black trauma moral outrage industry was all over, and it included Washington Post wrote a front page news story about it, ABC News, NBC News. It was on BET. It was on The Root, of course. So all the entire fake news press was all over, well, all over both of them, but really just jumped all over this latest one, which was Chuck E. Cheese. So again, same situation. Black parents took video of Chuck E. Cheese, the worker inside the costumed character, allegedly ignoring, their daughter, a little black girl. And then they were all over the news. And then apparently, the parents from the first viral video, from the Rosita, Sesame Street's Rosita Gone Wild viral video, is suing SeaWorld now, who owns Sesame Place, the Sesame Street themed amusement park, suing them for $25 million apparently. So lest you think that these Gone Wild viral videos are not big business, oh, but they are. There's a reason why the fake news press and the moral outrage industry is pushing every single Sesame Street's Rosita Gone Wild viral video, every single Karen Gone Wild viral video, every single Living While Black race hoax. They're doing it because they make a ton of money off of doing this. They make a ton of Black trauma, moral outrage industry money. So the only positive development about the fake news press and the moral outrage industry switching from Karen's Gone Wild viral videos to Chuck E. Cheese Gone Wild viral videos and Sesame Street's Rosita Gone Wild viral videos. The only positive development in this development is that you don't know who's inside of those costumes. So actually, those workers could very easily be Black persons. They could very easily be Black persons themselves that are being accused of ignoring Black children. And I just think this entire thing is so incredibly stupid, because I don't think there's any racism involved at all. What I think is happening, and what all of the workers who've been questioned by their corporations when these incidents go viral, in these viral videos, all of the workers have said the same thing, which is that I didn't see the children. And what I honestly think is happening is that in those huge, cumbersome, costumes where their eyes are covered, and I think their vision's quite obscured in those costumes actually. And I just don't think that they can see very small children, especially when the children are immediately sort of beneath them. I don't think they can see very small children. So I just think that when the workers say, those workers could be Black persons, those workers could be Asian Americans, those workers could be Latinos, those workers could be anybody. They could be, indigenous persons. We don't know who those workers are. Well, the only positive thing I was going to say is that we don't know who those workers are. And thank God the companies aren't releasing the names of those workers. And it seems like those workers have not been fired. I will be up in arms if those workers are being fired over this, because I think that they are telling the 100% truth. They just didn't see the children. And I'm sure that that happens to white children or Asian children or Latino children just as much as it happens to, Black children. I think that they just didn't see the children. I think that those costumes are so cumbersome and their vision is so, constrained and so obstructed that they just didn't see the kids. I think they just didn't see the kids. I think the workers are telling the truth. And thank God the companies are not releasing the names of those workers. And thank God it seems that the fake news press and Black trauma moral outrage industry hasn't been able to figure out who those workers are in those costumes, because we know that they would be putting their lives in danger if they knew their names. Like Tariq Nasheed was demanding that the worker be fired, demanding that the worker inside of the costume be fired. People are demanding that they be fired. Like I said, someone actually filed a $25 million lawsuit over this against SeaWorld, who owns Sesame Place. And I just think this entire thing is ludicrous. It's asinine. it's just a farce. It's a farce, and it's a travesty, and I think it's just ridiculous. I think this whole debacle is completely ridiculous. I think that and I just think that these big corporations will just, I think people know that if you go after Chuck E. Cheese, you go after Sesame Street, Sesame Place, SeaWorld, that these big corporations, they just don't want the PR nightmare. They just want it to go away, and they basically will just apologize and say, oh, we're going to have racial sensitivity training, bias training, implicit bias training. We'll make sure this never happens again. It doesn't seem like they're firing the workers, thank God. And all the workers have said the same thing. They just couldn't see the children in those costumes. I think they're telling absolutely the truth. I don't think this has one iota to do with racism. In Philadelphia, Sesame Place, the Sesame Street themed amusement park in Philadelphia, it's very likely that the person inside of that costume is a black person. And they're being accused of being racist and ignoring black children in Philadelphia at Sesame Street. I just cannot even imagine that the hiring process for those workers must have been very diligent, and I'm sure, given what is being required of basically everyone in every industry now, I do not believe that Sesame Place is hiring racist people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Sesame Place is hiring racist people. I do not believe that the worker in the Rosita costume was purposely ignoring those two little black girls. I think they were telling the truth. I think they just couldn't see them. And I think that this is another living while black race hoax for black trauma, moral outrage industry money. And people have made themselves famous and made themselves very wealthy doing this. And like I've said a million times, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop at Yale. It's not going to stop anywhere. It's not going to stop at Chuck E. Cheese. It's not going to stop at Sesame Place, because people are just making too much money. People are making money hand over fist. And the fake news press and the black trauma moral outrage industry is encouraging these living while black race hoaxes and hate crime hoaxes, because they're giving the people all of these are non-events. This is not newsworthy. This is on the level of the woman who took the TikTok video of her little old white lady busybody neighbor who didn't like her Tigger flag, okay? And then everyone, the entire fake news press, especially Newsweek, pretended that that was an actual news story, okay? And this is the problem, that the fake news press is feeding this monster, giving them all the attention, all of the money that they want, and it's ridiculous. And this is why we have to revisit New York Times v. Sullivan. We have to. New York Times v. Sullivan gives the fake news press and the moral outrage industry carte blanche to pretend that something like the TikTok video of the little old white lady busybody neighbor, or the Sesame Street Rosita Gone Wild video, or the Chuck E. Cheese video, they pretend that that is actual news, and then it gives them carte blanche to destroy innocent lives, because it says that the worker, they probably think that they would be justified in doxing that person and putting their life in grave danger, because once they're pretended that this is an actual news story, then it makes the worker inside that costume, that character costume, an involuntary public figure, just like what was done to me. I was the antithesis of a public figure. I could not have been less of a public figure. I was living like a hermit Rapunzel at the top of a tower on Yale's campus, and all I wanted was to be left alone and in peace to complete my Saving the World project. And so this is why we have to revisit New York Times v. Sullivan also. I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But I'm really glad I did this video. So this is just ridiculous and asinine, and this moment of cultural insanity that we're living through, and this mass hysteria that we're living through, this great racism scare that we're living through, we have to find a way to move past this. We have to find a way to move past this, because we have real societal problems that we need to address. And a Rosita Gone Wild viral video and a Chuck E. Cheese Gone Wild viral video are not on that list. Okay, we have more important things to do. The fake news press has more important things to throw their resources and time and money at. We have more important things to spend our time doing. We have real problems. We have real problems that we need to address, not Chuck E. Cheese viral videos, okay? Not that. So we really need to move past this. We need to stop. And I think the only way that's going to happen is if we revisit New York Times v. Sullivan. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't want this video to get too long, but I love you all so much. I will have all of my fundraising links below. Please donate to my legal fund. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like, comment on, and share my videos. And I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, have a great night.